In this video, I wanted to show you a quick and easy upgrade that you can do yourself. It'll save a little bit of money and it'll make your home more comfortable. And in the second part of our energy calculator series, I'll show you how to use your own home's information to calculate exactly how much savings and return on investment you could see from installing these outlet insulator gaskets. My name is Aaron Shine. I'm the founder of Attainable Home, where we use affordable real estate and practical sustainability to build your wealth and well-being. So let's get started. These foam outlet insulator gaskets can help seal up what's behind there and prevent dirty air from the attic coming down, and also preventing infiltration or exfiltration from the outside air coming in or out. And when we do energy audits and home performance upgrades, we typically start with air sealing because it can provide the highest return on investment and the lowest payback that you can find amongst all the projects. And these outlet insulator gaskets can help achieve that goal. And when we air seal and help make the building envelope tighter, as we call it, it'll help the HVAC not work as hard, and also it may not work as much. So that's where your true energy savings come from. And this is just part of chipping away at the energy efficiency projects to ultimately get that bill down. So how do we get started installing these insulator gaskets? First of all, we have to go around and count how many switches and outlets we have inside of our house. And then once you have the count, you can just buy them online from places like Home Depot or Amazon. I'll include the links below in the description. But once you get the gaskets, it's a super easy project. It takes me about 30 seconds per outlet. And all you're doing is unscrewing the one screw on the cover around the outlet and then punching out the foam gasket to fit the shape of your outlet and just fitting it over the cover, as you can see. And by doing this, we're going to create an airtight seal, or almost an airtight seal, around the whole cover there. And sometimes you'll notice that the hole in the wall might be a little bit bigger than what your foam gasket covers. And so in that case, I like to take tape, or you can put in another material or take some extra foam and kind of build that around the edges without spilling across where the plastic cover would install, so it still looks regular or like new. And you can see in the clips, this is me installing these in my own home, and you can see how quick it goes. So it's a fun little easy project. So how much can you actually save by doing this project? While every home's different, there are a lot of variables. I built a calculator to give us a rough estimate on how much savings you could get, both energy, time, and most importantly, in my mind, return on investment for your time spent. So let's take a look. So you can get to the calculator by clicking the link directly in the description below, or you can go to attainablehome.com and find energy calculators up at the top menu. And you can scroll down to the outlet insulator savings calculator that you'll find there in that list with the other calculators. But to get started, once you get to the calculator page, you could just scroll down a bit. There's a bit of info about air sealing and outlet insulator energy savings in general. But I just want to go over quickly the inputs that you'll put in for your own home, and then some of the savings and output features, including energy savings, time savings, and return on investment for you. So let's get started with this. To start off, we'll need a little bit of information from your own home, and this will be a bit of homework, but you'll go around and count up all the switches and electrical outlets that you have in your house. And once you have that number, there's a slider here at the top that you can just enter in there. And what's nice about this calculator is it's interactive, so the numbers change as you input your own data. So once you have that number, you can use the slider. It's also a really good idea to put in your average monthly energy bill. And the most accurate way to do this is by adding up all of the last 12 months of your bills and then averaging that over the last 12 months to get your average bill. Or if you have a good idea of what you might spend on that, you can just put it in here. And then the total cost of outlet insulator gaskets, that goes back to buying them at Home Depot or Amazon. And you can kind of find which one's best for you after you have the total number that you need for your home. And then what I did with another slider here, because there are so many variables and every home is different, the energy savings slider is something that we can play with, so you can see different cases or different scenarios based on maybe worst case or best case. The thing is with gaskets, there's so many other leaks in the home probably that this chips away at it, but it ultimately won't provide a massive savings on your bill. What it does do is provide a really great savings for the amount of time and money spent, and we'll get to that in a second. But I would just average it maybe at 2% overall energy savings as perhaps a little bit more conservative number. One thing that I really wanted to include to drive home how impactful this can be is that, one, we often don't realize how many switches and outlets we actually have in a home, and a regular size home can have anywhere from 40 to 70 or more. What that is, it adds up in terms of overall square footage that you have open to the outside or open to the attic. Because if the cavities inside the walls are open to the attic, then you have kind of dirty attic air filtering down through the walls and into your conditioned space inside the home. And so what I did on the right side was added square inches and square footage of each hole or each average outlet, and then multiplied that by the amount you have in your home. And you can see in the red letters here in bold that it can really add up. So in this example, I have 40 switches and outlets, where it makes about 3.5 square feet of equivalent window being open all the time. So you can imagine your HVAC system fighting to keep the air regulated in your home, but air is either coming in or out depending on variables in the season, where it's just fighting that leakage. And so by doing this outlet insulator gasket project, this is the amount of square footage that you're actually sealing up and contributing to your new energy savings that you'll get afterwards. And the last item on here that you can play with is the inflation rate. And I think that's really important to include. So I built that in because we're in a period of slightly higher inflation at the moment. And so kind of official rates at the time of this video are between 3 and 3.5%. And we can use the slider to adjust that, and then the calculator adjusts in real time as well. Now, 3% doesn't matter so much for the next year or two, but it does matter over the next, say, 10 or 20 years. And it's important in this project because if electric rates and overall money supply and everything related to inflation keeps going up, we're doing a project now where it's one and done. So we'll spend a little bit of money now, and you keep getting those increased savings over time, which really add up. But it shows you the average yearly energy savings and then the estimated year one return on investment based on the amount of money spent, assuming you're DIYing this for no labor cost. And you can see that maybe it doesn't add up to a ton of money per year, but in terms of an ROI number and percentage that you're actually saving for maybe an hour or two or less on this project, that'll save you money forever going forward, it's actually pretty impactful. So that's why I like this project. And then it shows you based on the amount of minutes per outlet on the install, how many hours it's estimated you'll spend on this. And some other fun data you can look at is if you scroll down to the 10-year return on investment graphs, you can see how the savings really add up over time. And this one includes specifically the yearly savings adjusted for inflation that we entered above, and also the cumulative savings over time. So the average homeowner stays in their home for about 7 years, and maybe a little bit longer now that interest rates are higher. But you can see that based on the little bit we entered before, you're saving hundreds of dollars over the next few years. And then over 10 years, in this example, we're saving $500 total by only spending, $18. And you can play with how much these cost online, but they're not that much. And so you're saving $500 over 10 years for a small project. It's well worth it. And then you've got a savings and ROI chart as well, where you can see the numbers through the years, and pay attention in particular to the return on investment numbers on the right side here. in the table. And again, it really adds up based on the time and money spent. So that's it. I hope you liked it. You can see how the overall savings can really add up with a relatively easy and simple project like this. And that's what I really love about these energy calculations. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I've also put together a free guide that you can download by clicking the link below in the description, but that's a lot of other cheap, easy DIY energy efficiency measures you can do to your home that'll really add up for easy energy savings as well. So I hope you enjoy that. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.